right?
Yeah, but we're in
Yes.
a kind of weird vertical mode here.
Uh oh, it's
There we go. Yeah, better.
it's better.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I can do it like this way. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so today I'm just trying to introduce the Cloud API from DJI side. So the first thing is about the why we trying to like um design the Cloud API for all our like developers here. So in the past, for DJI, most of DJI hardware like device, drones, anything, we only have like SDK part, which is the like gray circle inside of the on the left side. So for all enterprise hardware, all drones, you have to if you don't want to use Pilot or any software from DJI, you have to design your own like software like apps, no matter based on Android or iOS. So in that case, you will have like mobile SDK, and also for some of the other payload, like new payload or third-party payload, you still need to have the PSDK. So right now, we uh, we we have a new one, which is the DJI Cloud API. So it seems like it's like just we added one more circle between like the server end things with our like DJI software and hardware. So to be honest, you can just easily have a platform like server based, like cloud server based platform to control everything through the Pilot 2 or other software here and connect with all DJI like enterprise hardware. So, but also I just want to mention one thing. Just we don't want like letting you guys feel like, oh, we will not cover anything related with the SDK. No, that's not correct. So we just provide one more circle for everyone, um, everyone's needs. Like if you want to do some platform issue, a platform thing, you probably can use the Cloud API directly. But if you want to work on some apps or SDK thing, we still have mobile SDK, PSDK. So even OSDK, all the SDKs will still cover that part. So that's the purpose of our like Cloud API product. So in that case, right now we have two different product architecture here. So here is the drone, and in MSDK based, you have to use some of the like SDK to have a third-party app, and then you can connect with your platform. So here with the DJI Cloud API based, you just can easily have your third-party platform and connect to all the DJI drones. And another biggest thing is the DJI dock. So because to be honest, the DJI dock is a platform-based like device. So most of the time, you just use the platform to control the dock, send out missions, commands, debugs, anything. So Cloud API is the only method for now to use a third-party platform for the dock. So that's the biggest part related with the Cloud API. So here is something detail about the Cloud API inside of it. So technically speaking, we have two way to make your own platform. Different, like it's almost the same thing, but we also just want to provide some clear picture here to you. So first, if you want to, you can do something based on the pilot app, like DJI Pilot. So you can have a drone with a RC or RC Plus, which is a new one, and you can easily use the Pilot app to log in with your platform through the whole Pilot app. So you can see here we integrate the web view here and use the HTTP to connect the backup server. I'm sorry, backend server, and also once you have that, you will make the connection with your server. And in that case, the whole pilot app will make the connection with your server through no matter HTTP or MQTT. It's all based on your needs. So, and also for the dock, like I said, you don't need any other pilot app anymore. You just easily make the connections with your like platform server. So same thing here, HTTP or MQTT. So in that case, we provide all like different function interface to you through the Cloud API. So right now we support all the like dock settings, especially for dock, waypoint missions, like flight missions, and some live streaming functions, media sharing, and fly safe. So I can definitely say that in the future we'll add more features, but for now, all the features inside of the Cloud API is supported right now. And also in the front end, it's more like like app end or web page end. So in that end, it's all on the third-party components. If you want to show on the web page, you can just easily use a web page, or you can still have some other apps to off your like platform. So in that case, it's a different thing. I believe everyone gonna get that point. So that's all on your end. So also for in the middle, like backend server, we provide all the interface. So which one you want to use and how to use that, it all depends on your side. And it's really open source. Currently, it's open source like interface for you guys. And we provide all the details, parameters, and like guide on our DJI developer website. So you can easily find under Cloud API page, and for each different functions and features that we have a detailed like documentation talk about that, and we explain all the parameters and how to do that, and we also give some sample code in there. So that's for the backend server, and at the bottom it's just DJI part. No matter you're going to use the pilot app, through the pilot app, do a development, or just develop something based on the dock. So this is the like main architecture of the Cloud API inside the whole thing. So next, I'm gonna try to give you guys some like high level product features here. So we have for the Cloud API, we have several advantages here. So we just isolate the like cloud server things with all our drones, like all our device. So in that case, you can absolutely like design anything based on your end, like cloud platform. You can control everything, all these kind of connections, or internet or intranet, or is private. So the DJI on DJI side, we just provide the Cloud API, and to be honest, it's just a different interface. So and besides that, the other thing is the DJI drone, like I showed here, the several drones, M30, M300 RTK, and also like some of the other M2E here, but right now it's M3E. So all this kind of drones from DJI, but for the rest of the other things related with the cloud server, it's all can be used by yourself, service or platform, or even any other extra device. So this is kind of things we wanted to show our developers here. And also we have several like benefits here. So first, several things I just mentioned a lot, like you don't need to care about the app anymore. So if you just want to do some platform business. But another thing is we call it same function, same interface here. It means we just focus on the functions right now. So which means you don't need to care about what kind of device you have, like M30s. So if you have M30s, you want to do something related with the live streaming. M30s live streaming interface is the same thing as M3E, M3 Enterprise, or M300, or all other like device. So that's something you don't need to like SDK side. You have to do something every time when we have a new device. Like that's the same thing in the future. If we have any other new drones, the interface all the same. It's just based on the functions. So basically, that's some high-level features of our Cloud API. Yeah, so in here, to be honest, that's all about the Cloud API. I think everyone gonna understand that this is just an interface. Like all the details and developed documentations you can easily find on our website. So yeah, that's everything on my side.
I got a question for you, Charles.
Yep.
In one of the things that you said that it supported, it's called TSA. What is the TSA?
Yeah, so the TSA is a long phrase, but actually is just letting you know the exactly like sensor status, any status related to drone. In like we will provide all the drone status interface to you, and you can easily to know what's the exactly drone status.
And then the fly safe, I presume that's just the
Flight safe zone. Yeah, geofencing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Cool.
we provide a geofencing like map on the platform end, which means you can turn it on your platform. You can use it, or you can just show on your like platform map. So because this is a function in our Fly Hub 2 right now, so you can easily show all the geofencing map.
Okay, anybody got any questions? Okay, I think I'm going to take over now, if that's okay. Charles, thanks very much. That was really great. Really enjoyed that.
What is the? I'm sorry, maybe it's a basic question. So, what is the practical application for this architecture? What products? I understand this is more of abstract. What is shown here, right? Where any examples where this could be used?
For the Cloud API, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
So
yeah.
So here's the thing. So first thing in DJI we have a like comprehensive like drone platform called FlyHub 2. It's a new platform, but we use the same name, FlyHub, but it's called FlyHub 2. So it's a device management and like file management platform. To be honest, it's a really general thing, so a general platform. But for some of the users, like mapping and surveying users, they need to do some specific functions based on the mapping and surveying thing. So probably something related with M300 RTK thing. They need to take more care about the LiDAR part, like L1, or some high accurate mapping thing. In that case, they're probably gonna focus on some of the functions of the device, like drones. But in that case, like and also in that case, probably in mapping and surveying side, they need a more like, I cannot say it's a fancy map on their platform, but they need more something like add more, take some notes and get more sign on their map and all this kind of features. The Cloud API gonna provide the interface, but for our DJI like FlyHub 2, they're just some basic general device management platform. And
I think, Charles, I think the killer app is going to be when the DJI dock is available, because once the dock becomes available, you can basically have an automated flight. So, for example, for security, so you could get it to fly every 15 minutes, and then somebody remote could be watching that to see what's going on. So you don't have to employ somebody to fly it all the time. We were looking at doing a marina app where we were going to get the duck to fly over marina, use some kind of object detection to see which berths were free and which were being used, and then send back to an ERP system. So anything that you can think of that would be using a DJI dock, I just think, construction, hundreds of different things. How much have they used this today? And then also the scale. I think the scaling is really important, because if you're now able to use multiple apps remotely without having to use a pilot, and you can all see them from some remote place anywhere on the planet, then I think the scaling is and the efficiencies that you're going to get from just having a drone in a box to be able to pull the information from the Cloud API and create your own web application to show that information, whether that's live streaming or the media files, all that sort of stuff. I think that's the killer app for me. But so far, we haven't got our hands on a dock yet. I think they're coming out next year.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And also for some application for now, I can remember not even just dock, about M300 with multiple different payloads. In some of the public safety law enforcement department, they all some of them had a DFR program, drone as a first responder. So they will have their own platform, like focus on live streaming. Like everyone can, once you log in the platform, the biggest screen is live streaming, because they need to live streaming all the police's case in their platform through the drone camera. So it depends on their needs. That's why we provide the Cloud API, because
So for example, like if a fire engine captain would be back at base, back in the station, would be able to see what first responders are flying the drones, because they could live stream that data back to a central point, and they could make decisions based on whatever the web application that create is and the Cloud API is showing.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right.
Yep.
Charles, can you give me back the thing? Thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm going to go show a little bit more because let me see. Because I wanted to talk a little bit about a few things. One, I want to talk about how you set it up. Let me see if I can present now. Okay. Let's do screen one. Okay. Let me move this over here now so I can see it. Come on. Okay, so I'm not going to go over the same stuff that. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to go over the same stuff, but I just want to get to run through. It may not be obvious, but this is only for the enterprise drones. So it's currently the M300 RTK, the M30, and then the new Mavic 3 Enterprise. I think the dock is the killer app. I really do. I think this is going to be great. Features, it talks about that map element, media management, live streaming, waypoints. If you're not familiar what waypoints are, that's missions. So it's automated missions. The TSA, that's the device information, all that stuff. And then reporting. We already went through this a bit. Basically, what's really cool is, and what we heard a lot from people when we were developing apps for, is that drone pilots like to use the same interface the whole time. So they don't want to use something else. They want to make sure that they're always using the DJI pilot. That's what they're used to. So if that's the kind of group of people that you have, that's really what you're going to have to. That's why this really is very useful, because it means that you don't have to teach anybody how to fly again. So if you go to the GitHub repos, there are a couple of repos. There's two that you need to set up. There's the Cloud API demo web, and then there is the backend one, which is just called the DJI Cloud API demo. I did want to talk about the different containers and what you have to do. So basically, you have a front end, which is the web. You have the back end, which is the Cloud API. So what you need to do, you also have a MySQL database. There's an EMQX, which is an MQTT broker. There's Reddit, which is the kind of the in-memory database, Redis, and then RTMP, which is where you do the live streaming. So the way that you get the front end set up, this is happening like if you're doing Android 5.0 SDK, you need to get 3 keys now from developer.dji.com.
Can you possibly full screen, because it's a bit hard to see the text on these?
Yeah, well, this is really all I'm doing is just pulling this down from what the README is. So if you go
Okay.
to the README, there's going to be more info. I know there's a lot of stuff there. You're setting up the Java application. It's a Spring application. If you've ever done any Spring stuff, basically what you're doing is you're setting up your YAML files to get everything going. This is the example that they're giving. I'm going to go through a slightly different example when we're finished. MySQL, if you've ever, if you've played it with Docker, and MySQL, you basically set that up. So there's quite a bit of things going on here. So there's the EMQX Docker containers. That's the MQTT broker. So we have to set that one up too as well. So there is quite a bit going on here. Yeah, maybe if I could make the screen a bit bigger. And then Redis. If you're used to this, it's not that hard. The only thing I would say is lessons learned that we had is this kind of, if you start the Docker containers before the Java backend, you're going to have much more success. And then you connect to the DJI Smart Controller. That's the remote controller that you have. And you connect that to the Cloud API. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And then you just, for your web, what you're doing is you're just setting up localhost port 8000 to log on. Let me get rid of this. And we did, like Reese, as in me and one of my developers, we always like to simplify things. So instead of having to set up all of the different backends, we kind of slimmed it down. So we need a backend. We're not going to use the front end. We're just going to have a very simple web page, which we're just going to run on localhost. So instead of us having 12 steps, now it's a 6-step program. So we kind of cut it in half. We're not using any of the Amazon backend. So you can use for storage for S3. You can use Amazon. You can use I think you can Azure, maybe something else. But we basically spent a few days trying to figure out how to get the Amazon working, and then said we're just going to remove that for what we're trying to do for the demo. And then the Cloud API backend, that's what this code is. So this code has basically got two things. It has a simple web interface, and then it's got the cloud backend. But I think what is really helpful is if we just show you what a quick demo of how it works. Oh no, you're kidding me. Okay, hold on. Oh no, I know what to do. Give me 2 seconds. I have a new machine, so that's why it's blowing up at me. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can find it. So basically what happens is that you have a single web page that's just exposed in the pilot app. So the developer gets to use the pilot, but they don't have to worry about okay, I do have it now. They don't have to worry about learning anything new. Basically, it's something really simple. So just showing this is we were just passing them around yesterday. Let's see if I can make this any bigger. Okay, so this is we're connecting to the different things that you have to do to work through how to get it connected. Let me stop there first because this is going way too fast. Let's go back again. I don't want it to go 2 times. I want it to go 1 time. So, okay, so we're not logged in. We go to our URL. The URL is already filled in. That's the page that we're doing. And then you can see the different things that you have to go through. So the license has to be verified. So that's the app keys. You have to be signed in. It has to be bound. It has to be able to find the map. And I'm not 100% sure what the WS is. But basically, there's the steps that you have to go to. We're connected to the cloud. We've got the TSA talking to it. And the second thing is this is just the simple app that we have. So kind of imagine that somebody is looking at a web interface and they're just looking to see where somebody else is flying. So somebody is using our Matrix 300 RTK, and then they're just flying around. So you can have, this is a central console where somebody's controlling many drones at the same time. And in this case, we just have a single drone that's flying around, that's flying over this area. It just, it's defaulted to China. It's not in the US. Okay, so the code's up there. It's a public repo. If you want to play around with it, the code that is with on the DJI SDK under GitHub, that's the API demo and the cloud demo that you want to get up. We have set it up, and there's a lot of people out there on the forum as well. So if you go to developer.dji.com and then look at the forums, you can see a lot of the people who are going through the same sort of stuff as we are setting up the demos. That's all from me. Any questions?
This is great.
Cool. Yeah,
I'm a bit trying to wrap my head around it because I haven't been into all this before. But is this any use if you're trying to make an offline application that doesn't require internet, or is it really only for cloud-based stuff, really?
If you're trying to do an offline app that doesn't require internet, you're probably going to be using the mobile SDK and then the UI UX SDK. Because you can basically, that's a native app in Android. Some of the earlier drones you can use iOS 2 as well, and then you can download. You can use something like, I don't know, Mapbox, and cache the map so you don't have to have any internet connection at all. But the Cloud API, just by the nature of the cloud, is 100% internet. I don't think there's much going on here at all that is not internet based.
Okay.
Good question. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to talk about next month.
Nope.
All right. So next month, we're going to go to have a look at some of the open source stuff again. So a few months ago, I looked at Q ground control and did just some really... Q ground control is what the Pixhawk drones use. So that's either RGPilot or PX4. So they're the kind of build your own drones, and also some of the Blue US drones. So we had some basic customizations, changing colors, that kind of thing. I'm going to do another deeper version of that the next time, where we're going to show how to customize the pages so that we're only going to expose different flight modes based on a password setting. So that's next month. That will be the first week of January. And then in February, a couple of people have asked me to look at the DJI Android 5 SDK. So that's the SDK that only works with the enterprise drones for the moment. So that's the kind of the next generation of the DJI SDK. So up from between the earlier SDKs up to the last one, which is 4.16.2, I believe. There wasn't really much of a difference in how you would program the SDK. There's a significant difference between 4 and 5, especially when you do waypoints, but there's a lot of other things that you have to do to get things going. It's a different beast. So in February, what we'll do is look at a demo app that we did for the Android 5 SDK. And then if anybody's got any interests in other stuff after that, on the hardware side or on the software side, just let me know, and I'm happy to see if I can arrange somebody. And thank you very much, Charles, for showing up tonight and demoing the Cloud API. I think when the DJI dock comes out, I think this is going to be amazing. I do think we have an issue with the BVLOS laws in the States that we can't. The laws currently say that you have to have a visual observer even if it's flying in a dock. But I know that I've seen a lot of waivers start to appear recently, so I'm hoping that there'll be a lot more so that we can get all the stuff automated and get a lot of the boring jobs done by drones and a little bit of programming.
Yeah,
That's good.
no problem.
All right, thanks, guys. See you next month. Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you, Godfrey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.